Welcome to episode 168 of Norse Myths, Legends, and Folktales. My name is MyLinda Butterworth, and today we hear a tale about a man who saves a dragon. But in return, the dragon would eat the man unless he could find someone who would agree with his lot in the way of the world. Once on a time, there was a man who went into the wood to cut hop poles, but he could not find no tree so long and straight and slender as he wanted till he came up high under a great heap of stones. There he heard groans and moans as though someone were at death's door. So he went up to see who it was that needed help. And then he heard that noise that came from under a great flat stone which lay on the heap. It was so heavy it would have taken many a man to lift it. But the men went down again into the wood and cut down a tree, which he turned into a lever, and with that he tilted up the stone, and lo, out from under it crawled a dragon, and made at the man to swallow him up. But the man said he had saved the dragon's life, and it was shameful thankfulness in him to want to eat him up. "Maybe," said the dragon, "but you might very well know I must be starved when I have been here hundreds of years and never tasted meat. Besides, it's the way of the world. That is how it pays its debts." The man pleaded his cause stoutly and begged prettily for his life, and at last they agreed to take the first living being they met should decide between them. If his doom went the other way, then the man should lose his life. But if he said the same as the dragon should eat the man. The first one that came was an old hound who ran along the road down below under the hillside. Him they spoke to and begged him to be the judge. "Good news," said the hound. "I have served my master truly ever since I was a little whelp. I've watched and watched many and many a night through which he lay warm asleep on his ear, and I have saved house and home from fire and thieves more than once. But now I can neither see nor hear any more, and he wants to shoot me. So I must run away and slink from house to house and beg for my living till I die of hunger. Nope, it's the way of the world," said the hound. "That is the reward one gets in this world. Arrrrrrrr." "Now I'm going to eat you up," said the dragon, and tried to swallow the man again, but the man begged and prayed hard for his life, till they agreed to take the next comer for a judge. And if he said the same as the dragon and the hound, the dragon was to eat him and get a meal of the man's meat. But if he did not say so, the man was to get off with his life. So there came an old horse limping down the road, which ran under the hill. Him they called out to come and settle the dispute. Yes, he was quite ready to do that. "Now, I have served my master," said the horse, "as long as I could draw or carry. I have slaved and striven for him till the sweat trickled from every hair. I have worked till I have grown lame and halt and worn out with toil and age, and now I am fit for nothing. I am not worth my food, and so I am to have a bullet through me," he says. "It's the way of the world. That is the reward one gets in this world." "Well, now I'm coming to eat you," said the dragon. He gaped wide and wanted to swallow the man, but the man begged again hard for his life. But the dragon said he must have a mouthful of man's meat. He was so hungry, he couldn't bear it any longer. "See, over there comes one who looks as if he was sent to be a judge between us," said the fox, as he pointed to Reynard the fox, who came stealing between the stones of the heap. "All good things are three," said the man. "Let me ask him too, and if he gives doom like the others, eat me on the spot." "Very well," said the dragon. He too had heard that all good things were three, and so it should be a bargain. So the man talked to the fox as he had talked to the others. "Yes, yes," said Reynard, "I see how it all is." But as he said this, he took the man a little aside. "What will you give me if I free you from the dragon?" he whispered into the man's ear. "You shall be free to come to my house and be the lord and master over my hens and geese every Thursday night," said the man. "Well, my dear dragon," said Reynard, "this is a very hard nut to crack. I can't get it into my head how you, who are so big and mighty a beast, could find room to lie under that stone over there." "Can't you?" said the dragon. "Well, I lay under the hillside and sunned myself, and down came a landslip and hurled the stone over me." "Oh, very likely, I dare say," said Reynard. "But still, I can't understand it, and that's what more I won't believe it till I see it." So the man said they had better prove it, and the dragon crawled down into the hole again. But in the twinkling of an eye, they whipped out the lever, and down the stone crashed again on the dragon. "Lie there till doomsday," said the fox. "You would eat the man, would you, who saved your life?" The dragon groaned and moaned and begged hard to come out, but the two went their way and left him alone. The very first Thursday night, Reynard came to be lord and master over the hen roost, and he hid himself behind a great pile of wood hard by. When the maid went to feed the fowls, in stole Reynard. She neither saw nor heard anything of him, but her back was scarce turned before he had sucked blood enough for a week and stuffed himself so that he couldn't stir. So when she came again in the morning, there Reynard lay and snored and slept in the morning sun, with all four legs stretched straight, and he was as sleek and round as a German sausage. Away ran the lassie for the goody, and she came and all the lasses with her with sticks and brooms to beat Reynard. To tell the truth, they nearly banged the life out of him, but just as it was almost over with him and he thought his last hour was come, he found a hole in the floor, and so he crept out and limped and hobbled off to the woods. "Oh, oh," said Reynard, "how true it is! It is the way of the world, and this is how it pays its debts." And here is where I end my tale for today. But I'll be back with more tales, many more tales. Until then, my friends, enjoy the journey.